approached about this commission, I was told that I would be collaborating with Katrina Yeats, who is a harpist, and she's the granddaughter of W.B. When I met Katrina Yeats, Katrina had 3 poems that she particularly had fondness for, and one of them is called He Wishes for the Cloths of Heaven, which I absolutely adore. He wishes for the cloths of heaven. Had I the heaven's embroidered cloths, enwrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark cloths of night and light and the half-light, I would spread the cloths under your feet, but I, being poor, have only my dreams. I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. And he uses the word enwrought in quite a few poems, which I love, because obviously wrought, it symbolises, forging and hammering. And then there's the golden and the silver light, and the blue and the dim and dark cloths. But the idea of a scrap of fabric that has a story to it appeals to me. That I could maybe do it in metal appeals to me even more. So that was my way into this poem, and so I just think it's really, really lovely. It's very, very simple and very honest, and has lots of beauty in it, and just lets you transport yourself. I have to find beauty in something when I'm making it. I have to find something very pretty, just very beautiful or very simple. And that's a really beautiful, simple poem. And I suppose I've just honed in on very simple plants and landscapes that would have been connected around Yeats of that time. And I've just honed in on sort of minute details. This is just a few notes around Yeats, but also then I'm trying to imagine, how can I get this woven cloth? How do I get the lightness of woven cloth in metal and still have the little story in the panels going on as well? I didn't want the woven, I didn't want this as a solid thing or stuck to anything, because I wanted to get the shadows in it. Trying to get the movement in the metal is really important. I mean, metal is very, very hard. It's not going anywhere when it's like this, that's what it's like before you start. It's not doing anything, and to try and get movement into it. So I would start doing lots and lots of drawings to try and get marks that have movement in them, and then to try and get that into the metal is the next step. So these are all really 20-second sketches. How do you get that into metal and have a lightness about it? And I wanted to get shadows as well. So anyway, this is all different types of wire, and it's all forged together. So this will be like the centerpiece, and it will be patinated, verdigris, and there will be gold leaf threads coming out here as well. So that'll be in the middle of the piece, and then on either side there will be 4 panels, and these panels are all depicting a plant that are connected to places that Yeats would have been around in his life, like this little bit of Sligo landscape in there. There's these 2 panels these are 2 plants that grow up on the shore opposite Mount Vernon, which is where Lady Gregory had a summer house in North Clare. So this is a type of seaweed that's etched into the plate, and then this is a gorgeous little tiny little leaf that grows along the shore. So I would imagine he was probably up there walking along there, walking around these plants. These are called repoussé tools, because this technique is called repoussé. This technique here, and this is where you're working with. You're starting off as well with a flat sheet of metal. You have your drawing. You transfer your drawing onto this piece of copper, and then it has to be heated up and softened and cleaned, and then it sits in this bed of pitch, which as well I make. This is pitch made up with linseed oil and plaster of Paris, and what it does is it supports the metal, because underneath those leaves are raised up out of the metal. Like, it's a very low relief piece. I mean, it's only raised about that much, but still there's a hollow area behind it, and you have to have support behind that hollow area, because I am texturing the surface of the metal, so I can't have the metal sinking down. So this is what the pitch is used for. I mean, this metal can stretch. It can stretch at least that much. It's metal is, it's incredible that it's so hard and like that, and you can make it very, very fluid and very light looking. I made all of these tools over the years. Started off in art college making them. I had a great tutor who showed me how to forge all of my own tools and harden them. So I've been using these for over 30 years. They're absolutely brilliant. And I just made one actually recently, which I've been using for this Yeats project, and that's that one there, and it's brilliant. It is giving me all these lovely little textured lines on top of these leaves from this plant from Mount Vernon. So that's Yeats's little repoussé tool now. This is a piece of copper that's been etched, and it's been cleaned with pumice powder, to get all the grease off it and dirt. And after this stage, I then have to start thinking about patination. And the patination is the colouring of metal with chemicals, usually with chemicals and heat, sometimes with chemicals and wood shavings. You make up your own chemicals, and you can get quite a variation of greens, for instance, and blues. This is the background plate that the work is float mounted on, and I am very pleased about it, because it's unusual colouring for me to work with this Corten steel, and it's lovely. There's a variation of the patination. There's slightly darker blue up here. This is like little pieces of moss and sort of watery, seaweedy pattern here, slightly variation of the green there. And then I used the gold leaf just to pick out threads in the metal. So this is the cloth, and I've just used some gold leaf to pick out threads to draw your eye into the woven structure. And down here with this one, I've used some variegated leaf and some gold leaf, so there's a bit more variation in this one. And this is the little symbol from the Golden Dawn group that Yeats was part of, that lovely little triangle. This art project is really to bring Yeats's poetry out into the street for people coming visiting Sligo. They're going to be walking past this lovely building, and hopefully they'll rediscover this poet through this artwork, and that is the hope of what it will do for Sligo.